And welcome back to Focus Diaspora. This is your host, Patrick Dare, and today we're talking about issues that the Kenyans in the diaspora care about and how these issues impact them and impact their families back home. Again, one of the things that we are trying to do here is to make that bridge in the thinking of the Kenyans abroad and the things that happen in Kenya and share ideas. We don't have all the answers, but I think when we look at things from a different perspective, maybe we start to have a discussion. Now, the whole thing is about, the reason why we are so interconnected with back home is we have family. We have, our parents are still there, our sisters are still there. And we, as people in the diaspora, we've been exposed to different lifestyles. We're in maybe here in the US, they always say the best democracy. And therefore you come across things that are unique. For example, just an example. Here you cannot really fight in the streets. Back home, people take it upon themselves to fight. Vigilante justice. Here, if you get sick, you can call an ambulance and in 5 minutes it arrives. And therefore, these are the kind of things that we can start having people think about. What is your taxes going to do? Because people pay a lot. Kenya, I think, is very heavily taxed. But the services, there's a big gap between the services and the amount that people pay for taxes. When you talk to people at home and ask them to learn or question things, or do you do that at all? Do you elections are coming up. Do you have a conversation with people in your family and say, look for what this person is saying and not what this person is giving you in terms of chumvi here or 1 kilo of sugar that cannot last. Do you do that?
Well, I'm glad you brought the issue of taxes, and this is where education, wananchi needs to be educated. These taxes should be allocated into services like, ambulances, building hospitals, clinics, a lot of services that can be implemented, using even the systems abroad. And we know our rights that, when you pick up the phone, you're injured, you can call the ambulance. Wananchi will start figuring out, how do I take my relative to a clinic? And so I think it's high time that Kenyans need to start, asking for these services and asking for the, MPs and the president, what are you doing for us? You keep taking our taxes, but there's no return.
Okay.
I think this is where there has to be a very different way of approaching things. This is where Kenyans need a paradigm shift, because we are so used to looking at our leader, either the MP or the president, to give us the services we need. The minute you vote in a member of parliament, you go to their place the next day to ask them to help you pay your bill, your phone bill, or educate your child. Now, we Kenyans have to be taught, and the diaspora has to help with this, because we've experienced different democratic spaces, how to strengthen your institutions so that you look to your institutions for the services, and your institutions are strengthened by the taxes you pay. Right. So we are no longer, and we should no longer be in the frame of mind where you have a strong man or strong woman. You have to be in the frame of mind where you have a strong institution. Like Barack Obama told Africa, Africa should no longer be about strong men. It should be about strong institutions. And we have to hammer that into people's heads. That is where our politics has to change completely. Institutions, issues, services.
Do you think that the decentralization of the government with the counties is going to start solving
yes,
that at all?
Yes, I'm very hopeful. That is where a lot of my hope lies, actually. I really think that is a positive step in the right direction.
Wow, okay. Njogu, Ms. Njogu?
Yes, I do think that with decentralization, that's going to help. However, for me, it boils down to education. we have to educate our constituencies and the people in the village that you can go to your MP or your representatives and lobby for issues, but you can't ask for personal favors. Because what our people are used to doing is they go to their MP and ask them, can you pay for my phone bill?
Right.
I don't think that's one of the jobs of your MP. Right. You can lobby for issues that are important to your community, and it should be issue-based.
But if you remember correctly, the start of the MP's big salary was the excuse that once they're in parliament, they take care of the whole community and Harambes and whatnot. So and again, I think, by people continuing going to their MPs, I think it kind of reinforces the dependency, and therefore the MPs, power. So we should minimize that.
But you and I are Kenyans. We well know is if one person went and their phone bill was paid, every other person in that village will line up and say, you paid so-and-so's phone bill, so you better pay mine, whether they deserve theirs to be paid or not. So I think education is the key again, and let's not do personal favors, because that's a form of bribery. Okay. And on the first question that you asked, do we in the diaspora influence our families to vote a certain way? We definitely do. For me, especially, as an example, if I'm supporting my whole family, then they will listen to me. Right. So when I call them and I tell them, oh, you need to be careful about voting this way or that way, and I'm issue-oriented, and I'm talking to them about the important issues, and right. I know about this particular candidate, he's not for the issues that are important to us, they will listen to me to some extent. That's exactly what I think.
Wonderful.
I think the issue of salaries and MPs making the excuse that they carry the constituencies on their back, this is where the MPs fail. It tells me something, that they don't understand their job. Matter of fact, they don't know what their job is. They should be able to educate the constituency, just like Regina said, and tell them, this is not my job. This is not my job. Not go to parliament and lobby to increase their salaries. That is disingenuous. That is professional immorality. It cannot be done. You can't keep increasing your salaries all the time, while your constituencies are suffering.
And I think it's wrong also for the sitting MPs to increase their salaries.
Yes.
I think it should be that if they're going to somebody's going to bring a motion to increase salaries, it should be maybe for 3 elections down the road.
Right. I think it should not happen. Yeah. And I just want to say something about influencing the people back home on who to vote for. This is my stand. I don't need to tell someone this is the person you should vote for, although I can do that.
Right.
What I want to be able to do as the diaspora is shine a light on how the candidates are, what kind of issues they stand on. As we speak, we already started the campaign towards having a presidential debate. Yeah. And that is a way of making the people in Kenya shine a light on the issues and the platforms that their candidates stand on, as opposed to looking at who's the richest one, who is the firebrand. And that is where we have to work very hard as a constituency. Make sure that we get those politicians to answer the right questions, and we have to ask them the right questions.
Wonderful. Junie, very quickly.
Yes, I'd like pretty much for MPs, if they're being voted in, that they need to have a plan, just like, the Americans here, what are you going to do for the people? Put a bid, maybe,
Okay.
And let, the locals, kind of say, okay, this is the right person for the things that we want, in our area.
And with that, we come to the end of this session. This is your host, Patrick Dare, and next time we're going to speak on other issues. And if you are watching this, or where to watch this, you can go to Diaspora on YouTube, and we'll be posting this there very soon. Now, ladies, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
This was a wonderful discussion, and I hope we can continue this discussion with an open mind and open spirit, and hopefully whoever is watching this would learn something, and that is the objective here. Starting to make people think maybe differently or in a slightly different manner. So thank you for being here. Thank you. And with that, we come to the end of this program. Thank you.
Wimbo ninaimba sio wimbo ni maombi, nikiomba Mwenyezi Mungu aibariki Kenya yangu, kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana Roho Mtakatifu, amina. Kwa jina la Baba na la Mwana Roho Mtakatifu, amina. Ewe Kenya inji yangu, ewe Kenya baba yangu, ewe Kenya mama yangu, sitakuacha milele.